You are listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, as always, with my good buddy Dan. Dan, what is going on, my friend?
Buddy, we got announcements today. I always off season. We're like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And then we get a schedule announcement, and it's like, oh my God, we have 34 things to talk about.
There is no shortage of news to talk about this time. We got a schedule drop that actually happened before we recorded, which is wild because if this were a normal news drop, it happened on Wednesday and we'd be like, oh, cool, we missed being able to talk about one of the biggest news of the offseason. But we're here. We got that to talk about. We're joined by our good friend Kevin Lopez from SKC Fan TV. You may know, huge Argentina fan, and something happened in the world of Argentinian soccer this past week. So
I heard something about it. I don't know. I missed like 2/3 of it.
A little thing. We just wanted to talk to him about it and sort of see what's going on there. So we have him on to talk what it means to be a world champion and what this means for Lionel Messi's legacy. Future Inter Miami star. Lionel
Future
Messi.
MLS Cup world champion.
I mean, we said this with Kevin, but honestly, this isn't a win for Argentina so much as it's a win for Major League Soccer.
It has to be, dude. It has to be. I'm excited, man. It's so crazy. I missed 60 minutes of that game because I thought
I forgot.
Buddy, you forgot about this?
I forgot, yeah.
No, I had Googled it earlier in the week, and I don't know if anyone can clarify this on me or if I'm just stupid, but it said on Google that the final was at 1:00, and I know I can't be losing my mind, but I felt like I was taking crazy pills, my man, because you text me and you were like, oh, Argentina's going to do it. And I said, what? Calm down. Game's in like 3 hours. It's been on for an hour. And so I turn it on for 60 minutes. France starts doing their thing. And I'm like, holy shit, look what I've caused. And just a wild time, man. Wild day. So I got to watch half as much soccer as you did because I got extra time and penalties.
You watched basically a full game.
I basically watched the full game. That's pretty wild. And missed an hour.
Well, as you know, we'll talk about later with Kevin. The first hour was pretty Argentina dominant. The first half was nothing but Argentina. There was the penalty kick that Messi put away to give them the 1-0 lead. And then there was a freaking gorgeous build-up that France had the ball on their end. And then next thing you knew, there was like 4 passes and there's a volley and Argentina's up 2-0. And you're like, what the hell just happened? So
wow.
It was all vibes for Argentina until a little man who's not so little, but his name's Kylian Mbappe happened. And man, it was a phenomenal game.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. We talked with Kevin about it, and he's so he's such a big Argentina supporter, and he's big into anything he supports, right? If you guys have followed him, the dude is just straight up fandom. It's just cool, man. Really reminds me of us a little bit. You know what I mean? Really getting into it. And probably a lot of you people can resonate with Kevin's passion, but I think you guys are going to be real excited to hear him talk about it because he is Argentinian. So
yeah, for sure.
It means a little more when it's in your blood.
Can you imagine what we talked about this with Kevin, but like what if the U.S. women's national team has won the World Cup multiple times? So I get super pumped when they do it, but like I almost expect them to win it now because they're that far ahead of every other women's professional team. The U.S. men's team has felt generations behind the rest of the men's team. So can you imagine what we as a soccer fandom would do if the U.S. men's national team won a men's World Cup?
Yeah, it'd be wild to think about. So not even on that mindset yet. You know, I'm just hopefully trying to get to a game in Kansas City, and see what happens. And I don't know what travel is going to be like, probably buses and shuttles and God dang, dude, might have to just board your dog for a night and get a hotel up there because you don't know what your day is going to look like.
It's wild. So obviously we're going to try to go to a game here in Kansas City when it's here. Do you think you would try to travel to go to a U.S. men's national team game if it were somewhere else here in the States, or is that a little bit too intense?
That's wild, right? And you want to. I would think I'd want to go to the most drivable one because I'm thinking flights would be nuts. Hotels will be nuts already. So it's like, it's just more savings. So I'm just so happy that there are some games in Kansas City and traveling is not even in the picture right now.
Right.
Personally.
I'm not expecting, and I don't have any inside information. We're not going to know for a long time. I'm not expecting a U.S. men's national team game to be here in Kansas City, just because there are so many cities that more likely than not we probably won't get a U.S. game.
Probably
But
not.
it'd be crazy if we did. I don't know. Houston maybe might be the closest drivable city. I don't know. We'll see. But
if we didn't have it, who knows? Maybe a Chicago or a Colorado would have.
Sure.
You just never know. So it's gonna be crazy. I hope you guys are budgeting, saving your money, and things. Shit's gonna get weird, man.
And I do want to, we talked about how expensive tickets will be, and FIFA World Cup tickets are a little different. I do want to mention that after our episode last week, the graphic designer who did our logo, William Geddes, he actually went to some games in Qatar this time, and he had mentioned, hey, FIFA actually has a different way of doing resale tickets. They typically don't let you just like throw it up on StubHub or whatnot. There's actually like a FIFA resale market that you kind of have to go through. So it'll be interesting to see if I don't know exactly how some of these other like major resellers work in other countries. So it'll be interesting to see like who's got more leverage. I assume it's FIFA will have more leverage. They're going to be able to keep these tickets off StubHub, SeatGeek, etc. But they're going to be trying their damnedest to get some of that resale market in. And if they can, they'll be crazy. But maybe FIFA will keep them a little bit more reasonable. Who knows?
Yeah, as reasonable can be. I mean, it's still going to be outrageous. So
it's not going to be cheap, but
no.
Yeah, we'll see. But before we get to the interview with Kevin, I do want to talk a little bit about this Sporting KC schedule news drop. As we said, the new schedule for 2023 dropped before we recorded this, which is pretty wild. And we learn who Sporting KC's first few games are going to be against. The Major League Soccer season will kick off at the end of February, which is going to be here in like Sporting KC's first game is in like 2 months and 3 days, which is wild. It's coming here fast.
25th, yeah.
But February 25th on the road at Portland. It doesn't start until 9:30 p.m. Central, which of course, wonderful.
Hey,
love it.
Get that nap in. Are we scared of naps? Naps are amazing. Get it in. I do it every time there's a late game. It's perfect.
It's at least with soccer, it's
old
a
as hell. What am I?
9:30 kick.
Eat my marzipan.
It's a 9:30 kick. It's going to be done at 11:30, and then you can hop in bed before midnight.
There you go. And who? It's a Saturday. So do you got somewhere to be on Sunday? I know you sinners aren't going to church. What the hell?
I do appreciate how with the Apple and MLS deal, the vast majority of games are on weekends now, even more so than they were before. There's a couple of midweek games here and there, and obviously the U.S. Open Cup is going to still be midweek, and CONCACAF Champions League, which we don't have to worry about this year, but those are still going to be midweek. And then there's the Leagues Cup, which I don't even know if we're in because there's 74 different tournaments now, but largely weekend based. So we start February 25th against Portland. Then a week later, March 4th, we're on the road against Colorado for an 8:30 kick. And then March 11th, it's the third week of the season, and it's Sporting KC's home opener. So we have to be one of the last ones to have a home opener. We host none other than Chicharito in the Los Angeles Galaxy at Children's Mercy Park.
Hold on. Why are you speaking like you only know 11 games right now?
I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Okay. I thought you were saying we know some of the games earlier. I don't know. You have to fact check it later. But anyways, I'm here to say we know all the games.
We know all the games.
Get this. Everyone can watch this with Apple TV, of course. It is subscription based. Unless you're a season ticket member, you freaking get it. But we have 3 national TV games on Fox. That's also on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Pay us, Apple. We're pitching your shit. It's exciting.
It is wild that so it's going to all be on MLS Season Pass and Apple TV, but then Major League Soccer somehow got Fox and Telemundo to pay them more money to also continue to put them on regular linear television. ESPN was like, "Nah, we're good. We're out."
Yeah, because that was new, right? Like that. I mean, Fox didn't have it till like this past week.
Yeah, it's a new announcement that Fox is also going to be carrying some of these games, not all of them, in Telemundo and ESPN. They've been a partner of Major League Soccer's for broadcasting for a long time, and they're out.
ESPN Plus sucked because you couldn't even watch games, and you live 20 minutes, 30 minutes from the stadium.
Right. So, but we got Portland and then Colorado, both on the road, and then we come back to Children's Mercy Park, Chicharito, LA Galaxy. We're going to get another Panenka? I don't know.
Unimpressed. with LA Galaxy. Unimpressed.
Yeah, it's I think that's going to be wild. I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to go into the LA Galaxy game with at least 4 points. Because if we go in there with 4 points, having won one of the games and drawn one of the games, we're still undefeated. Get the season off to a good start because hopefully we'll have a healthy Alan Pulido, a healthy Gary Kinda, plus Willie Agata, Eric Tommy. We'll see what sort of new other signings outside of Nemanja Radoja that we bring in. I'm excited, man.
There's a different feeling.
Real.
Next year, here's what we've been saying for 5 years now. Hey, wait till May. Wait till May to see what a soccer team looks like. Guys, I think we might judge this team from the get-go. I don't know. I just think the fire's there. I think they probably put in a little great offseason work, unless you're Alan Pulido, who's going to Egypt. And I just feel like it just feels different. So I wouldn't be surprised if come March you see a team that's firing pretty rough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And I think we have to get off to a pretty good start over those first couple of months of the season because May, there's 6 games in the month of May. So there are going to be a couple of midweek games, or at least, I think 2 midweek games in May. So that's a little congested. August, there's only 1 game because there's an international break. And then back in September, 6 more games. So this is an interesting schedule. Kobe Roney, one of our listeners, sent us a message and says 2 main things he took away is that we play St. Louis 3 times. And then, in May, it gets a little congested. And then June, obviously, we'll have the Open Cup around that time. So what do you think are the games that you are most looking forward to in 2023? Our first game against St. Louis FC is May 20th. So that's something that's exciting. But what are you thinking?
You circle the St. Louis ones right away. I want to go to Miami. Never been to Miami, at all. So I just think that'd be a lot of fun. And but other than those, man, you got to look at any game against the Seattle, against an LA Galaxy. So I mean, we're on actual Fox and Fox Deportes as well as MLS Season Pass at Seattle, Sunday, May 7th. It's an afternoon game. I don't know what May weather's like in Seattle. That's a fun little trip out there. Beautiful little city.
For sure.
But it's pumped, man. I think you and I and my wife and bring Brittany if you want to, if you want to bring her. Let's go to Miami, man. It just sounds like the nightlife is not my vibe.
But no, I don't think it's my vibe either.
I'll be in the hotel by 10 probably.
I have driven through South Beach. I quite literally mean like when we went to Key West, we flew into Fort Lauderdale and drove from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, and we're like, let's drive down South Beach or Ocean Drive or whatever it was and see what it's like. And I was like, oh, there's a lot of expensive cars and this is not my scene. I'm not going to be at the club until 7 a.m, doing all sorts of illicit drugs. But
I'm not going to go play volleyball with my shirt off and talk to some bikini babes. Like, it's not my thing.
But it's, I think good news is Inter Miami doesn't play in Miami. They play in Fort Lauderdale.
Is that right?
And their stadium's up in Fort Lauderdale. Now. Well, they're trying to play in Miami. They're trying to build a stadium in Miami. That's their long-term plan. But their current stadium they play in, which is eventually supposed to be their training facility, is in Fort Lauderdale, which is like a 25 minute mile. I don't know if it's minutes or miles or what.
It's about 50-minute drive from Fort Lauderdale to Miami.
Yeah, I think it's about 20 miles. So
and that's taking in current traffic at 7:30 Eastern time.
Right. So it's a little bit of a hike, but I want to go because we might see a World Cup champion, the greatest of all time, playing for Miami at that point.
We might indeed. And it just sounds man, if you can make a little trip into it, see some things. I'm sure there's things to do. I don't have to do some research. It just sounds fun. It just sounds new and exciting and outside of my landlocked state,
It'd be kind of fun. It'd be, I believe it'd be basketball. Well, no, when does basketball season start? Is that not till October? So let's say you could go to a Miami Heat game. So that's a little bit
That'd be cool. But I mean, then here's the, God dang it, Jamie. God dang it. I was going to say something and I forgot. Just you go. You talk because I suck.
Well, I know we were like, hey, maybe we'll see what happens with Lionel Messi. Is he going to be coming? One person that I do follow who he's a sports personality based out of Miami who is connected to Inter Miami. He put up a tweet earlier today of the day recording, and it said two things. It had the goat emoji and it said soon. So he's been maintaining that his sources within Inter Miami are 99+% confident that they will land Lionel Messi and that we might hear some news on it as soon as January after the holidays, because he'll be able to sign a pre-contract at that point. So
I believe it. If you're putting out news and saying 99% good to go, like, then you take that as 100, you know what I mean? That'll be a huge letdown if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So it'll be pretty crazy. But I'm excited. That Miami trip, I'm going to really try to make that happen, assuming, it's not till September 9th, I think. So we got a little bit of time.
Right on the heels of Labor Day there, that previous Monday. And, when I went to LA this past year, I didn't, we had a beach day planned, and it was the only day it stormed on our trip there. Bad weather came in, so we did not get a beach day. I'm getting my goddamn beach day in Miami, baby.
There's plenty of beaches in Miami, that's for sure.
I'm going to sing some Will Smith the whole time I'm there.
Of course you are. This never happened before. Nobody's ever done it.
Why wouldn't we?
I'm excited for St. Louis on May 20th. Probably going to try to make at least a day trip. I don't know. We'll see. And then September 2nd, the week before the potential Miami road trip that we're thinking about, is when St. Louis comes to Kansas City for the first time and plays Kansas City at Children's Mercy Park. That's
just going to be a real good trip, man. I like the St. Louis restaurant scene. I think we can get a train going up there as well.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you can pop on the train if you don't want to make the drive. I think the drive is faster, but
probably
still kind of neat regardless.
Yeah.
And then they come here, man, and it's just, I don't know. It's like Graham Zusi said a couple weeks ago, this is absolutely a rivalry. It's absolutely, everyone's real, into it,
Yeah.
They're probably just tired of being thrown in with Minnesota when it comes, rivalry week.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
KC in Minnesota. Why?
And then the other big news that I took is Decision Day, October 21st, 2023 in Kansas City, hosting Minnesota United. Hopefully we don't need to rely on Decision Day to lock up a playoff spot, but it's more than likely that seeding will not yet be determined. So,
and against someone like Minnesota, both of us could be in a provocative spot,
Plenty of things to know about, or plenty of things that are going to be likely up for grabs at that point.
Well, something to note, buddy, on sportingkc.com, they put out a little storyline for each game. I think they do this about every year. So
yeah,
you scroll down and they give Messi a shout out. You see that St. Louis coming to town. They talk about how the buzz is for this game. And it's just someone put some work into this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Shout out to whoever wrote that. Does it have
Sam Cobson? Sam Cobson.
There you go. Sam knows what's up.
Sam A.
Now Major League Soccer did put 10 must-watch games in 2023 out on their website, and I'm scrolling through here and look, I know Sporting Kansas City didn't do that well. We're not in here, but here's the deal.
The list.
St. Louis is on here.
Why?
But
who? Who are they playing?
I get why they. At first, you're like, why is St. Louis versus Charlotte FC on this list? That doesn't make sense.
No,
it's because it's the first game at their new park, City Park.
Oh, okay.
So I get that, but here's the thing. You look at some of these other rivalries that are on here. You're like, okay, whatever. LA Galaxy versus LAFC. Yeah, we know El Tráfico. It's kicking off the season. MLS loves it. Okay. Austin FC versus FC Dallas. Okay, fine. We've seen it before. FC Cincinnati versus Columbus Crew. Whatever. We've seen it before. Atlanta versus Orlando. Whatever. We've seen it before. The MLS All-Star game, who we don't know who the opponent's going to be. I don't understand why Sporting Kansas City versus St. Louis City FC is nowhere to be found on this list.
I don't know, man. Other rivalries are obviously closer in distance. I'm talking New York, Miami, and Orlando if you want, the LA teams, blah, blah, blah.
New York versus the New York teams facing off, not on this list. Not on this list.
Right.
But Nashville versus New York City's on there only because it's the first match of the season. But
see, people doing this list, I don't, they're not taking a lot of time, okay? They haven't had a lot of time to do this article. They're just throwing things out there. But this is fun, man. I love schedule release day. When they announced it last week, I popped it on the calendar. I was like, this is cool. Everyone's going to start planning trips, find out what storylines are. And it's, I just love this every time we do it.
Yeah, and the All-Star game is July 19th at Audi Field in Washington, D.C., your favorite
Terrible,
stadium.
terrible stadium. Don't eat the food. It's all the same.
But we don't know who we're playing yet. We don't know if it's going to be East versus West. We don't know if it's going to be Liga MX or not. I mean, Don Garber, has kind of hinted that it might be someone different. So we'll see. We don't really know who we're going to play. We've played Manchester United, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus before. So could be Liga MX All-Stars. It could be something different.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
we'll see. Either way, whoever it is, we never really care because no one watches.
And then the last bit of sporting news that I want to talk about before we kick it to our interview with Kevin is the Super Draft starts today. Just real quick, I guess we should mention it. Sporting KC has the 8th pick in the draft.
It's not important anymore. And I say that, and we just re-signed 2 Super Draft picks that we still have on our team.
Yeah.
So
Doyle,
take that what you will.
Oh, this isn't Doyle. This was Travis Clark. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Travis. Travis Clark put up a mock draft on MLSsoccer.com. So if the draft has not yet happened at the time of you listening, he predicts Sporting Kansas City could select Daniel Muni, a center back from Indiana, and says generally seen as one of the top seniors available. Muni slipping to number 8 would be a nice development for SKC. He's been a cornerstone of the IU back line over the past few years. So there you go.
Hey,
take
love
that
to hear it,
for what
man.
it's
Daniels,
worth.
no Daniels, and we'll take them.
Daniels, no Daniels.
You didn't say nothing about my shirt, man. I'm out here shocking the system for Christmas.
You do. It's is that a reference that I don't understand? I'm sorry.
An old wrestling faction.
Okay, that's why.
Undisputed Era. You see it.
Okay, because I was like, I'm sure it has something. It looked a little bit like it's cut off. I was like, is it kind of the Dolph Ziggler kind of vibe look here? But
yeah, shock the system. Hold on, you're gonna see my belly.
This is an exclusive for the video only audience.
It's exclusive, man. If you're not subscribed to us on video, what are you doing?
Yeah, we got our own YouTube channel now, so go check us out.
I show you my shoe collection over here, and then all my scarves. Like, it's a great thing.
There you go. Did you notice that I put a Kansas City blanket right there?
Yeah, so look at you. This is a Royals podcast now.
Anywho, let's kick it over to our interview with our boy Kevin Lopez from SKC Fan TV to talk Argentina, Lionel Messi, and what it's like to win a World Cup. So without further ado, here's an interview with Kevin from SKC Fan TV.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We have a very special guest today who might be very excited to talk about a particular subject. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of this person. Maybe you're tired of this person because he's too loud. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
It doesn't matter. He's here because we got Kevin from SKC Fan TV, or Keviñcho _TV, whatever you want to call him. He's an Argentina guy, and he's very excited to be here. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm very excited. You could call me whatever you want, Kevin. Kevin. I don't care. It's all fine. Right now, guys, I'm high on life. Okay, I feel great. If someone can give me some bad news, and I'm be like, oh well, all right. I'm still champion of the world right now. I feel.
Oh my God.
I can't tell from your background that you're at all happy.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty subtle about it. I haven't really made it known.
Yeah, that's serious. I love it, man. We're gonna give our best impressions of your celebratory videos at the end of this thing. We'll see if we can do you justice. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll critique it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's the word, man? What have you been up to? You didn't stream the final, so everyone's real upset at you. No.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. This is how it ran down as the World Cup was going on. Even before the World Cup, I'm like, okay, I've done Copa America, and even then I was like, I really didn't want to do it. And I started streaming Argentina matches because I thought, all right, we're not going to go that far. So I'll have the group stage games and maybe 1 or 2 other games, and we're done. Once the Netherlands game happened, and that was the last one I streamed, I just knew I could not do it again. It got to the point where I'm like, okay, Croatia just beat Brazil. They could kick us out. I don't know if I can stream 2 hours of getting slapped by Croatia. Somehow, we didn't get slapped by Croatia. So now I'm like, all right, World Cup final. In 2014, I was surrounded by people. It didn't go so well. I don't know if you guys heard. But once I started thinking back, okay, I didn't like the experience when I was around people. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to stay in my house. I'm just going to be with the fam. I don't want to be out. And then I was like, okay, but do I want to be streaming it? I just thought this was gonna be me for 2.5 hours. I swear to you.
Yep.
I swear to you, just staring. I'm not even gonna have it on another monitor. I'll have it on my phone, head down. I won't even talk. That's how I was for the end of the Netherlands match. So I'm like, it's not gonna be enjoyable for people. Maybe the last, I don't know, 5 minutes of the 3-hour stream, but I don't regret it. At the end when it was penalties, I had my phone out to go either way. If we lost, we lost, and I could upload it if I want. But yeah, now I'm chill. Now I can stream sporting games and relax and yeah, be a lot more calm. And I feel like I've been saying this to everyone. I think we won the Copa America 17 months ago. We just won the World Cup. Sorry, sporting fans, but it's gonna be a really rough year for all my favorite teams for the next like 30 years. So
that's just how it's gonna go.
That's just how it's gonna go.
It's kind of cool, man, because like you've shown what passion is in this sport from a team that a lot of us locals really don't know about and most likely don't really care that much about. You know what I mean? We're rooting for Argentina because Messi's the GOAT and all that stuff, but like we have no affiliation with the country. We haven't been following them forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you have just shown what it means to support a team, man. And like you said, watching your phone, rocking back and forth, just nerves. The only thing that I think even comes close to that personally is KU's comeback in the National Basketball Championship.
Oh,
and it's like, that was nerve wracking for me as a KU fan, but this is this is another level, man. It's every 4 years. It's pretty cool to see your passion.
Yeah. I think one of the most common sayings for Argentinians is like, we all suffer through this sport. Some countries follow the sport differently. I think Germans, they're more serious throughout the tournament. They have high expectations. Brazilians have fun with the game. They dance, they celebrate, and Argentinians straight up just suffer through 90 minutes no matter what. And the last string of all these finals, 3 Copa America finals losses and a World Cup loss, it's just like back to back, all that build up. We finally won a Copa America, and it's like, all right, we're in a World Cup. This is Messi's last, Di Maria's last, all these guys' is last. It was just like all this pressure. And once we got to the final, I couldn't even believe it after losing to Saudi Arabia. But it all just came out, and it's like coming out on the streets. There's like 5 million people in Argentina right now partying, shutting down the entire country. But yeah, I'm not alone. There's like millions of people like me. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of comments like that, like, oh, wow, it's kind of cool to see. But everybody has their thing. Like you said, KU. I know plenty of people that were smashed for like a week after KU came back and won the championship. Same thing with Chiefs fans, like 50 years or whatever it was. It's just
Royals
like different.
As well. Yeah.
Royals. So yeah, we all have that one thing. And for me, it's Argentina, but I don't know. It kind of spills over. Even with sporting, it's not like, I don't think I'll cry if we win a final. I'm going to be honest, but I definitely will be screaming the same altitude. You know, I'm still.
You better.
Yeah. I won't change. Yeah.
Your brand, bro. It's your brand.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That's one thing I think that's so cool about the World Cup. That is what makes it the best sporting event in the entire world. It's what makes soccer the best sport in the entire world. And it's what makes it so unique is like the closest thing, like Dan said, that I guess local people can relate is probably when the Royals won the World Series, first time in 35 years. And it's cool as somebody who's not originally from Kansas City. I moved to Kansas City right as that was happening. So I kind of got to see a city coalesce around a team. This is like that on super steroids, because it's not just a city, it's an entire country. And I think what's hard for people to understand until you see, like, there's that viral drone footage that's flying around over Buenos Aires, and it's beautiful, and there's just people waving flags and everyone's dancing in the streets and whatnot, and you realize that this is so much more than a game. This is so much more than a championship. Like, this is an entire country's, like, I don't want to say it's their identity, because Argentina is so much more than a game of soccer, but like it just means something on so much more of an emotional level to these countries that grow up playing soccer in the streets from the moment they can walk. And I think that's something that's really tough to relate to, and it's
Yeah.
cool to see your passion and an entire country's passion. I can't even imagine what Americans would do if the U.S. men's national team won the World Cup. We'd probably
Be
set
weird.
cars on fire because we don't know what else to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
How do we celebrate? Tell me how to feel. You know.
that's what's going to be exciting for the next World Cup is you have 3 countries where it could be crazy scenes. Think if Mexico does it or US or
gosh.
Canada,
yeah.
the world will shut down. It would be like, what? I think these countries, especially Canada, USA, Canada, USA, like these countries that are known to be not not the most popular sport in the country. Maybe the stereotype is they're not the best in the
Mhm.
sport. Yeah, imagine if they win the World Cup, bro.
Well, just coming here is a huge step. I mean, we had
Yes,
Graham
yeah.
Zusi on a couple weeks, and I remember distinctly he said, we're not ready. I mean, I think we're ready logistically, but he said emotionally and feelings like we don't. You guys we're gonna be floored. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I think the thing we have the stadiums, we figured it out in the 90s. We can
Sure.
do it even better now, but
Yeah.
yeah, emotionally having every city in your country freak out is we're not ready.
So Argentina is an interesting case because, as you said, there's a lot of pressure. It felt like on the team this year. We knew this was almost certainly Messi's last World Cup, Di Maria's last World Cup. I felt like there was an interesting shift in how the public perceived Argentina in this World Cup because historically, to me, and maybe you view it differently, but it's almost like people kind of laughed, like when Messi missed the penalty kick in it was the Copa America
Yep.
final, and he sent it over the net. I feel like there was almost like a kind of a laughter, like he choked again. That's sort
Yep.
of his thing. It felt like there was a shift this time, and everybody who's not an anonymous Ronaldo fan account on Twitter sort of coalesced behind Argentina and Messi because I think they realized the greatness that is Messi and that this was probably his last chance, and he doesn't have the same type of scandal behind him that Ronaldo has. So
True.
did you feel that there was a different perception of the Argentina team this time as an Argentinian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the talk was right before people were comparing it to like the Bulls' Last Dance, but it's almost not like the Bulls' Last Dance because the Bulls won 5 straight or whatever it
Right.
was, or 3-2 or whatever it was. But Argentina didn't have that. The last World Cup we had was in the 80s. So there's a full generation of people that's never seen it. They have to ask their parents or older brothers, what was it like? And then you have this guy that in our eyes is the greatest, with being very biased, but there's a lot of people saying, oh, this should
Sure.
be the greatest. And there's one thing he doesn't have. And then we know he's 35 years old. He even mentioned, this is, hey guys, just letting you know, I don't think I'm going to make another one. This is it. And then all of a sudden you're seeing these people that may not be huge fans of Messi, but they just kind of respect him just as a player, go, all right, I'm back in Argentina. I think that there's a lot of, I think it goes both ways. After Netherlands, some confusion was out there because they thought we were a little disrespectful. But dude, if you do the research in that game, Netherlands were talking some crap before the games.
Sure.
The players were coming towards our players earning penalty kicks. Hey, if you do that, it's free reign. It's gonna go wild, okay? But then after that, so we got a split crowd there. But yeah, once we're in the final, it's like you have this up and coming star legend in the making, and this, not dying star, but an
Sure.
old star moving away. It was epic, and that final was epic and in the most painful and great way possible.
I heard
Just
someone describe it as this Mbappe versus Messi thing. They're like, it's the greatest player in the world versus the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, that
Because
is
Mbappe's arguably
Oh,
the best player playing right now, and
for
but then
sure.
Messi, the history and what he's accomplished and whatnot. So, like you said, it was almost this passing of the torch, and especially since Mbappe and France won it last time, it was like, hold on, I got one more trick up my sleeve. I'm not ready to hand it over just yet, and that was kind of
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, he's only the greatest because he's gonna be in Miami soon. I mean, that's
That's
what we're
right,
all
baby.
talking about.
Come
So, I mean,
on.
This is a win
we-
for MLS.
How many
Yes.
Miami fans though are gonna emerge now? Like Miami's gonna be coveted around the world, and I gotta say, the 3 of us need to set some kind of road trip up and get
Oh.
down there because we're playing them, and that's
I
exciting.
know. We find out today. I don't know when this comes out, but
Yeah.
as we're recording, if we found out today, We got Miami. We're going to South Beach. Well, it's Fort Lauderdale, whatever, wherever we're going.
Crazy.
It's
We're
gonna get
talking
crazy.
beaches, babe, and blue. Like
Let's
it's happening.
go. Yeah, this is my
Three
kind of
Bs, baby.
podcast. Come 3 Bs.
I just made that shit up.
I love that. Yes. I can't wait. That's the thing though, like the talk is, all right, does he go back to Barcelona to finish the cap there? Okay, that's a nice story. Does he sign again for PSG? Not really a beautiful story. Or throw all that crap away. Come to Major League Soccer, truly get tested, okay? You're not truly the world champion, the greatest player of all time until you come here like Pele did, right?
Until you win an MLS Cup.
Yes.
Can you do it on a Tuesday night in Saprissa in the
Exactly.
CONCACAF Champions League?
Exactly.
But that's why that's why they're gonna change up the whole playoff format to this World Cup format, because it's the only way Messi can win. Exactly. You gotta have World Cup format now because he's used to it now.
Exactly.
Kevin, you obviously you didn't stream, but I kind of want to get your take on how the game unfolded, because the first 75 minutes were relatively dominated by Argentina. You got the first penalty call, which I know there were some questions that I saw a lot of places of was it not a penalty. I personally didn't have a problem with it. You could argue it was soft, but I thought the refereeing was consistent throughout the entire game. So I thought, well, if that's a penalty, it would be a penalty the other way. And he gave it the other way later. So I'm okay with it. But the first 75 minutes were pretty Argentina heavy, and arguably the goal of the tournament from a team perspective with their second goal. And then Mbappe happened. So what are you feeling in the first 75 minutes? And then what's going through your mind as you're watching Mbappe basically single-handedly pull France back into this game?
God, that dude. So like first 75 minutes, like you said, I was like with my wife, I was like, bro, we are destroying this team. They look bad. Like first 45 minutes, I was like, all right, that was our half. They're gonna come out. They even made 2 changes in the first half.
Right.
Like we're this France, who? Mbappe, who? We go to halftime. I'm like, all right, let's stay calm though. They're gonna come out the second half. They came out the second half stinking. They sucked. I'm like, dude, we're about to get a third. We had 2 chances of getting a third. It was about to be 3-0. And then for some reason, well, okay, they made 2 good changes. I think Coleman came in and he was playing well. But 75th, like after or whenever he scored the first goal, it was a penalty. All right, rightfully, I was like, okay, we got a soft one. All right, fine. You get a penalty. Fair. We're fair. That's even. I even text my wife was in the bathroom. I even texted her. I was like, Julie, it's happening. Like I literally wrote that. I will show you.
She's like, same here. I'm in the bathroom. Leave me alone.
It's happening at the same time. But she texted me back like, no, it's not. Stay calm. And what was a minute 30 seconds? He scores an insane volley coming off a Messi mistake. I saw it happening. I was like, oh, this is our punishment for whatever reason, whatever we did, God. We are literally being embarrassed now. Messi gives off the ball. They do 2 passes, cross to Kylian, boomba. I couldn't even believe it. I was frozen. So then I'm like, okay, our coach famously throughout this World Cup, after the 60th minute, we're leading the game, sub in some defenders, which was a bad mistake. It was a mistake against Australia, which we barely won 2-1. Obviously against the Netherlands, which we won in penalties. And now again, against France, we do the exact same thing. We go to extra time, and then here it was. Messi gets this ugly goal. I thought it was offside. The whole world thought it was offside. I screamed once, calmed down, screamed again because they said it's goal. It's over. Messi's, in the crowd. He's on his knees. We're World Cup champions. And then a handball. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes left of the game. And Kylian steps up again. I was so sure the dude was going to miss. I'm like, bro, it's happening. I saw you in the Euros. Destiny. You missed it. This is it. The crowd's going to explode when he misses. And no problem makes it. Even sticks out his tongue after he scored, bro. I was ruined.
Disgusting.
This is the disrespect. Man, it was insane. So then, all right, penalties.
Well, before penalties, they almost won it if it weren't for the save of the tournament from Emi Martinez. My God.
I can't even. First, actually, let's be in order here. Lautaro Martinez had 2 goals. He was our Higuain of the tournament. Absolutely. I was like, they're gonna crucify him again, just like Higuain. He's gonna have to retire in a baseball stadium. It's gonna be the same cycle.
Retire a baseball stadium.
But it didn't end up that way, only because he missed those. But Dibu made a save that it was exactly Mario Götze in the 2014 final. It was going to be the last play of the damn game in extra time. They're going to get this crap goal, and it was going to be the end. And somehow the dude grew 30 feet, blocked it with his leg. I don't even know what he blocked it with. And then we go to the penalties, and it was very clear. With me and my wife and my dog are sitting here staring at the TV, and we're like, I think we were repeating like, Argentina's gonna win. We're gonna block it. We're gonna block it. Argentina's gonna win, like over and over. I think you can even hear it on the clip I uploaded. We're just saying it over and over, and Dibu comes out like a beast that he is, and we won. And I think I literally cried for like 30-45 minutes, like nonstop.
Then took his Golden Glove trophy and
oh my God.
had a make believe wiener.
You know what? And I was seeing a lot of hate for that. And here's the thing: a lot of the hate was from I'm gonna say it from a lot of English pundits. Okay, and listen, England. I know you don't like to celebrate. I know you like to be happy, but listen.
Yeah.
We have 3 stars. You have 1. And to be fair, England is like, I've said this before. England are very they're not the most positive people about everything in life, but when it comes to the World Cup, it's coming home every time for England.
Right.
So I feels great for me every time it doesn't come home. And this one, especially when it came home, and then there's English pundits saying disrespectful. I don't care, whatever.
Well, there's no history between England and Argentina.
There's no, there's nothing there.
It's totally
Same with
fine.
the US. That's why I wish the US won so bad. And we played so much better than them, but whatever. It's fine.
But many US-based soccer fans might not be as familiar with Martinez. This isn't something he just came up with. This is kind of his thing when they win trophies. You can see other pictures, so it's not surprising. It might be,
I think that right.
Style, but he does this.
He celebrates like that.
Dude, this man has a break. Like in ESPN Argentina, we're breaking down what he does. He has everything's planned out. The man runs to the penalty box and waits for the goalkeeper was doing the coin toss, and he waits there like he owns the penalty, already playing mind games. Then he's the one that hands the ball to the penalty taker, kind of saying like, you're in my box now.
Or throw it away.
Or throw it away. That he did that too. Or on top of that, if the penalty taker puts the ball down, it's one of the rules. If the keeper goes, hey, ref, check that it's on the spot. The ref, if you look back, the ref looks at the ball, sees that it's on the line, and he goes up to Emmy and he goes, yep, it's on the spot every time. It's like, okay, another mind game. Like, hey, this is my penalty box, dog. And then he saves one, and then he starts celebrating. It's not even over. We still could have lost the penalty shootouts. But another mind game, like, yo, dude, this guy's cocky. He doesn't care. And then I think one of them was a miss. I don't think he saved the other one.
Off the post or something.
Oh, yeah, something like that. I don't know. The man, and he did it against Colombia when he was talking to the players just in their face. He's nuts. The dude is nuts, and he plays in Aston Villa. I don't know. The man is whatever.
If that's MLS and the ball gets thrown away like he does, hey, that's delaying a restart. That's a yellow card, sir.
Card. I think he got one. I think he did get one.
And that would have been a red card.
And that would have been a red card. Yeah, new goalie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That'd been wild.
Insane. The dude's insane. But it was, I said this at the end to all my friends and family, like all the photos of Messi holding the trophy still feel like photoshopped. Completely not real. It looks like we've been seeing it since 2014. Messi holding the trophy, complete Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like none of this is happening.
Would you say that, you've been around soccer your entire life. You've watched Argentina in finals before. I'm not trying to be prisoner of the moment, but is this the best World Cup final of all time?
Okay.
That's what everyone's saying, right?
In my lifetime, yes, but
sure. As an Argentina fan, I'm sure it is. But objectively,
I think I said this. I said this to many people. I think one of the worst penalty or finals. There's a lot of bad finals. I think finals are usually they can, like, let's say Spain 2010 when it's an extra time last minute goal. That was very dramatic, but it was a boring game. There was a couple cool moments. World Cup 2014, same thing, last minute goal. 2018, it was 3-1. It was kind of one-sided. So those are in recent history. There in the 80s, 86, Argentina won 3-2 against West Germany. It was the exact same thing. Up 2-0, Germany came back, and then we got the final goal. I think this one, when it comes to a team's destroying, the other team comes back in 2 minutes, then we're up again, and it's like game over, and then they tie it, and then we go to penalty. I don't think we're going to see another final like this, but I think it has to be said the best final, one of the best. I don't know.
Well, Jimmy mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo earlier, and I'm like, I don't want to hear those two names really put next to each other ever again. I mean, Ronaldo doesn't even really have a team that one day, and Messi's out here winning World Cups and playing for Miami. So, you know, that cannot be understated.
That's true. That's true. I think, thankfully, that this is like that one thing that everyone's always said, like, well, the true GOAT would win the World Cup. And then you would say, all right, well, these two are our GOATs in our world. Well, neither one of them won a World Cup. And I don't think Ronaldo's going to play again. If he plays another World Cup, I don't think they'll win it. But
one GOAT got benched. So I don't.
Exactly.
There you go.
I don't even think he's scored. I heard this. I haven't fact checked this, so forgive me if I'm wrong. I think they were talking about in his World Cup career, but he might not have a knockout round goal.
Yeah, he has zero knockout.
And
round.
Messi scored in every knockout round game just of this tournament.
Bro, I'm Argentinian. I'm too biased, but I'm going to agree with you guys. Yes.
I'm just saying it feels like to me this has to put an end to the Messi versus CR7 debate.
Yeah, the only other debate, in my opinion, is an era debate. There's a guy from his era, another guy from his, and then Messi's is his era. It's almost impossible to say one great player in the history since England was kicking around in the 1800s, you know. So
sure, that was going to be maybe our last World Cup question. Is I saw you were having a back and forth with Pablo Mara from the Athletic a little bit, and Pablo kind of was saying, you know, Maradona, Pele, you know, still are better. And I think it's interesting, and this isn't a shot at Pablo. I get what he's trying to say, but I think it's interesting. Everybody tends to do this in all sports, where it's the same thing with a Jordan versus LeBron or Tom Brady versus Mahomes or whatnot. People tend to want to gatekeep from like something from their past. And I think it's interesting that the immediate reaction after Messi finally does this thing that we've all been saying, hey, you're not truly the GOAT unless you do this. And then he does this thing. And the first reaction is almost like, okay, but he's still not Pele. He's still not Maradona. He's instead of just letting the moment happen.
Yes. Yeah. The Pele debate, look, he's Brazilian, and it's good. Again, it's not going to sound very good coming from me. But, I mean, I think Pablo said, just put him in Europe and he would have done the same. Listen, he put his numbers in Brazil. He played his whole career in Brazil and New York. That's it. He played in the 60s and 70s. After 1970, the game just exploded, like really exploded. The talents were, look at the Brazilian players in the late 90s, early 2000s. Dude, those guys are lights out. And yes, he did some great plays. One of the tweets where Pele has, whatever your favorite player did or does, Pele's did it, you know, in Brazil. Absolutely. But in Brazil, only in Brazil, playing only Brazilian. Dude, it's hard to, now, is Pele not one of the greatest? For sure. He is the greatest player from the 60s and 70s, hands down. Yes. I think Diego's are the greatest players in the 80s. It's like some people saying, well, what if Diego was never on drugs? You know, maybe he would win 4 World Cups, you know, like, yeah, okay, we could put all these, the same thing people say, put Pele and all these crazy, all the technology we have now and all this, like, okay, there's a guy named Di Stefano who was like the god of Real Madrid, won I don't even know how many titles. That man was insane. Okay, put that man in our technology. It's like impossible. So I think you're right. It's the same thing, the Jordan debate. Even though Jordan's the GOAT, it's impossible to say, you know, who's the best ever.
So where do you think, and this might be far too early for this question, but like, where does Argentina go from here now? Because this kind of was like, I don't want to say this was the golden generation because they had Maradona and, you know, but like Messi's going to move on, Di Maria's moving on. There's some young guys, Julian Alvarez, McAllister, Lautaro Martinez, that are still there, but they don't. There's no Messi, there's no Di Maria. So where do you think Argentinian football goes from here?
You know, it's gonna be, in my opinion, even though Messi kind of hinted like, I want to keep playing with this new champion team. That could mean like maybe the Copa America, maybe,
Sure.
or some World Cup qualifiers or friendlies. But when it comes to like the next World Cup, seriously, where are we going to be at? I think this is going to be our rebuild squad. Like, okay, we got young guys, kind of like USA did this World
Mhm.
Cup, where no one expected them to do great things, but we're gonna have to feel out Enzo Fernandez was player of the tournament. We got our young player, that's whatever the trophy
Sure.
was. Julian is playing with Holland, so hopefully he develops. It's going to be a weird few years, but Argentina had this same vibe after Maradona. So like 1998 World Cup, not a good time for us. And then 2002 was like unstable. We're gonna see. We had a squad. I think in like 2000. No, yeah, 2002 we had a squad. And everyone's like, "Oh God, careful with this Argentina team, bro." I think we didn't even make it out of the group or something. So, yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell. But I think once you have this guy, this Messi or Maradona off the squad, you got to go. All right, now we got to be like a for real team and not just fight for one dude, but we got to play all together, well-oiled machine, and that might take a generation. I don't know.
For sure.
Well, man, as we mentioned just briefly earlier, the Sporting KC schedule came out yesterday. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, man, is there any particular? I know you live outside of the area a little bit, but is there any particular game you want to come to here at home, or you thinking about traveling anywhere? Coming down to Miami with me and James here.
Look, Miami. I'm keeping that on the list. There's a few things that have to fall into place if Miami is even interesting. Because I'm not just gonna go watch flamingos kick a ball for no reason. There's gotta be a certain guy going there. But well, I think just to see the vibes, I want St. Louis, and I want to go there. You know,
you get
I wanna see
two chances.
I get to, yeah, which is okay, crazy. All right, I'll go there twice, I guess. But yeah, that after the little not crap talk, I don't even know how to describe it, but after the few tweets that we got from them, I feel like, all right, let's see what you're about. Okay. All right, Mickey Mouse Club. Let's see what we got. If we don't want DPs, fine. Let's show up. I think it would be a good vibe if we all go out there and just see what it's like, just experience. That's what's on my list.
Is their stadium still flooding?
That's
Yeah.
it. Does the electricity work? We'll see.
I'll tell you if it's a good place to be. The moment we walk in, if you see that 2 concession stands are carrying the same goddamn menu items, it's bullshit.
Ooh.
DC United has the worst vendors, and I'm very upset with it. I went to the NWSL final, and I'm like, so you also sell what they're selling? This is bullshit.
Yeah, that's
Same
a good
mantra.
point. The food it is important. The food and drink.
I want
That's
to
very
take it
important.
in.
I think one of them that I was interested in, we got some beef with. I don't know why we do, but there's been some talk with LA Galaxy fan. I think that's our first game.
It's our home opener.
game.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fun. I'm down for that too. I don't know. I think
Why don't you do another Panenka? Why don't you? We'll take care of you.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. That would be great. I think now that I got the schedule, I'll like black out some dates and like head out and then figure it out. What was interesting is we only have like a handful of Wednesday games, like 5 or 4 or something.
Yeah. MLS and Apple are really trying to tighten up the schedule and keep it on weekends. I think that's an Apple dictated thing, which I appreciate because those midweek games, man.
They suck. And I might straight up say right now, I ain't streaming those. Some of those games are like 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Right.
Like,
Those are
dog,
rough.
We got work the next day.
we got work the next day, and some of the games suck. I'm not watching Vancouver or San Jose. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but I'll just tweet my reaction to it the next day or something. But for the most part, I'm excited for a mostly weekend, and we got a ton of Saturday games. Some of them at like 2:00. Oh, dude, vibes. Yeah, I'm excited.
Totally.
So what do you talked a little bit about your streaming. Do you have anything special in store? What's the next evolution of your streams and what you do look like for 2023?
Yeah, I think the big one is, like I said, block out some dates to actually be there, make some content out of that. 1. 2, I definitely want to get an away experience because I don't want to just be surrounded by the Sporting crew. I want to be yelled at by opposing fans, see if they talk smack,
Go down to Austin, meet them.
Yeah, go down. Oh, Bro, that would be nuts. I think I'd be the only sporting fan. Actually, sporting fans travel well, surprisingly. I've seen a lot of sporting fans everywhere. But yeah, I'm interested to see that vibe and make some content like that. And then the streams, I feel like now, I'm going to say this again. Just a reminder, there was a World Cup that just happened. Now that we won a World Cup, I think I could be a little more goofy, just more fun time. Now I don't got to be so serious and just, all right, this is do or die sporting. You got to figure this out. No, now, have a good time. Maybe have guests. That sounds fun.
There you go.
How no other pod live?
Hell yeah.
Me? I'm kind of scared of you guys live. I don't know what you're going to say, but
that's wise of you.
Maybe one of you guys, but yeah, I don't know.
Who are you talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder who. Yeah, but I think that's going to be a thing. I just want to switch it up instead of just being the same old from last season. Last season, I just had last second, start the channel, just do the same vibe, but now kind of have some fun.
That's awesome. You feeling good about 2023?
Yeah.
Personally, he's like, I don't even care anymore.
I don't care. Like I said, I don't care. But no, I am. I'm interested to see. Look, how we ended last season, we all know, pretty solid. We look pretty damn sexy, and I think the good, interesting keys when we got players like Alan coming back, Kinda and all that. Let's see how that's gonna work. We got the super draft coming up, if that ever matters.
Starts today on Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
That's early as hell. It usually comes in January.
I hear we got a high pick. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be good.
Number 8. You know who we picked number 8 before? Because we need a center back, and you know who we picked at number 8 before? Matt Beasler.
Oh, okay. So we might get a Beasler. So that's what you're saying. You can confirm it now.
I mean, probably won't get a Beasler, but you never know.
You never know. So, look, I got good vibes going into the season, and talking to, like, I had an interview with Daniel, and he seems like very good vibes, that they all were like, dude, it was a fluke. It was bad timing, the injuries, all this stuff. Plus we got two really good guys coming in, a guy coming off of injury. Yeah, I think we should be good. And now we cut forward a year from now when we finish last place, because I just said that because I don't know.
It'd be wild, man. There's a lot of excitement around it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
What else, Jimmy? Anything else?
I think that's all we got this time, my dude. Hey, congrats again. This is incredible. I don't even know, I can't even think of a comp for me, because it's such a different level. But you were, I know, the first person I thought of when that last penalty kick went in, and it was it was pretty wild. So congrats. I know this is awesome. Seeing that footage from Buenos Aires, it's wild. So
yeah,
happy
I hope
for you, happy for the country.
2026, guys. Listen, it doesn't have to be Argentina. We don't have to win anymore. I'm rooting USA, baby. USA.
There you go.
So we feel it. I want you guys to feel this.
It'd be pretty cool. Well, hey, man, where can people find you?
Okay, well, at the current status, we are at Keviñcho. So just Kevin, CHO_TV on Twitter, on YouTube, same thing. And currently on TikTok, if you dabble in TikTok, it is Keviñcho_reacts. I feel like that kind of makes sense. Maybe you'll remember it, maybe not, but that's where you can find me at the moment.
Cool. I love it. He plugs his TikTok, but he's kind of embarrassed to plug it, but he's like, whatever, I'm doing it.
Yeah, don't be surprised if it's a little light, guys. Okay, just letting you know.
Hey, it's tough to stay consistent on everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's wild.
For sure.
Well, cool, my friend. Thank you so much. Congrats again. Happy for you.
Thanks for having me back.
We'll have you back again too, I'm sure.
Heck yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. All right. We'll see you.
Ciao.
There it is, my friend.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
That's a good friend of the pod.
He's a good friend of the pod. I can't imagine. I'm sure you've seen, if you haven't seen his reaction video yet, go out and watch it. You can find it on his platforms that he mentioned. You can see how much it meant to him watching the end of that game, the penalties. You can see the nerves. You can see and just the total and complete joy when it all came together and Lionel Messi and Argentina won the World Cup.
Yeah, I didn't tell him I had my France jersey on the whole time or anything like that. I didn't want to get into that, but yeah, it's just his videos are becoming that of legend. really took off. Everyone likes them. They're absolutely ridiculous, right? At the end of the day, they're ridiculous, but they're ridiculously passionate. And it's so cool, man. And first of all, what's you guys don't think I'd be okay to have on live? Like, you don't think I'd be good?
I think you'd be fine.
Hey, I gotta tone it down. When I do improv, I can't just go out there effing and this, effing and that. I
bring it
can't
down
do
a
it.
notch.
I have to tone it down. Sometimes they slip, things happen. But when I got older people in the crowd, I can't just go talking about horse fucking.
Give me a prompt. Well, okay, not that one.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'll prove you guys wrong. I'll be on Kevin, and I'll be on his show, and you guys will be like, "Wow, he's really good."
He's the most professional person that we've ever had on a live stream.
He's the most professional podcaster.
The only way I can possibly relate to the emotions he was feeling is I recognize, and when he was saying I didn't want to stream because I would just be silent staring at my phone. That's how I watch USC football games when I get nervous.
Is that you?
When I was watching the Pac-12 championship, which obviously didn't go how we wanted because our quarterback got injured. It was a whole thing we otherwise would have won. It's fine. Brittany came down when we were up 14-0 or 17-3 at that time, and she was like, "Oh, it's going good," and I was like, "Nope, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
Get back upstairs."
She's like, "You're up 14 points," and I was like, "I promise you, this is something terrible is going to happen." And I'm sitting here, and she goes, "It's weird that you're winning by 14 and you're like upset." And then she came back down after it had gone off the rails, and she was like, "You seem weirdly more calm now that you're getting destroyed than you were when you were winning by 14 points." And it's because I knew it was going to happen. But that's the only thing I can relate to. But I've been alive when USC won a national championship. We've won a Rose Bowl. We've won a Pac-12 championship. And I can't imagine that's the only reason I mention it is because that's the only thing that I have that's comparable, because that's how much I care about that sport. I have to sit there in silence. And I think it's the same for you with KU basketball, right? So that's,
I mean, it's absolutely, especially around like tournament time and knockout time. Like, things are just crazy. Other than that, throughout the season, everything's not as intense.
But KU's won championships in your lifetime before. Now imagine if it was like, it's like when the Royals won the World Series, like we talked about. For those who are actual Royals fans, that's probably the best comp that we can describe. And it's just cool.
Epic.
It's cool to see an entire nation come together like we talked about. So
the Royals and Chiefs victories were huge. I was born in 85. So the Royals had just won the World Series before I was born in December. So I literally have not been alive for that. And that was just one of the coolest things ever. You know?
So,
but now the Chiefs are having this run, so that the Royals thing seems way more special, because it's like, we're kind of good for 2 years. Hey, let's be bad again.
Yeah. We'll see you again in 30 years.
Oh, God. Hey, this World Cup thing's crazy, though, man. We don't understand. Like, in 4 years, I'm gonna be in my 40s. Well, let's not talk about it. But it's gonna be wild. You might be helping me up the ramp in the stadium, but that's okay. I got bad hips.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna be there. Hopefully, the U.S. men's national team continues to make progress between now and then. But in the meantime, happy for Kevin, happy for the Argentina fans who are out there. I tried to see if a Messi jersey was available, just because I was like, this is kind of like a moment in time. And I feel like maybe one day this is going to be something cool. I could be like, oh yeah, this is the jersey from the year he won the World Cup. It's sold out literally across the entire world. Wow. They're not available. So
that's wild. The dude is so rich. I do have a PSG jersey. I thought about what would it take to, just to customize it, put his name and number on the back.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. I'm not even an Argentina fan, but I just was like, I found myself rooting for history.
Sure.
And I'm happy that it happened to him and not Cristiano Ronaldo for a variety of reasons.
Right.
But it's pretty cool. So
well,
what a way to end the World Cup.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It was looking kind of easy for France leading up to things as far as their other games. Sure. So for Argentina, it's like this was not as a walk in the park.
I forgot until Kevin mentioned it that Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia to open their World Cup.
Yeah.
So think about that.
That was devastating.
And then where they are now, you have the full gambit of emotion.
Yeah.
So
it's cool, man. I appreciate his passion, and I don't do as much on Twitter and stuff, but he knows I love him.
Sure. So that's about all we got this week,
that
man. You
it?
got anything else for our good listeners?
No, dude. Let's all go to Miami. Let's all go down there and party till like 9:30 or so. It'll be
It'd be fun. Tell us,
that's what I'm saying. I ain't staying out late. I won't do it.
tweet us at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMax03. Tell us where you're going to try to go for a road run trip next year. We know we all travel well, so I'm sure we'll see a bunch in St. Louis, but let's see where else we can go. But make sure you follow us there on Twitter and Instagram. Leave us that 5-star rating and review if you have not yet done so. And happy holidays, happy Hanukkah to those of you who celebrate. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Festivus, happy all of it. Happy new. Well, we'll be back before the new year. But yeah, I hope everybody stays warm and safe in the Arctic temperatures that are coming up. So it's a good time. But until next week, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
I can be professional.